every time, 100% of the times I get stuck in my life, that's me, is because I've made it about me and I've made it about myself and not about serving. I'm not about them. Them being patients when I was the owner operator and doing everything in my practice, or them, my teams. So I just live for my teams. That's my job now, because now I have teams executing my mission, other people executing my mission in life.
Hello, and welcome to Build Your Remarkable Practice podcast. This podcast is dedicated to chiropractors who are in the seasons of launching and building their practice. Join myself, Dr. Lona, and my co-host, Dr. Bobby, as we have conversations each week as it relates to building the practice of your dreams. And remember, you can have a remarkable practice as part of a remarkable life, not instead of one. We're here to lead you on the way. All right, welcome back. This week's episode on Build Your Remarkable Practice podcast, I get to interview the one, the only, Dr. Sebastian Bonnin from Puerto Rico. And if you've seen him at an immersion, you know he's got nothing but energy. Well, probably everything and energy, we'll say that. And we were just talking while having a little lunch with him about being vulnerable today and really talking about where we still are falling short. You know, as coaches, a lot of times we're up on stage and you can make up belief systems about us that maybe we think we have it all figured out. We definitely don't. There's plenty of things that we're still pushing through in our practices, in our businesses, in our personal lives to go to the next level, the challenges. I had a challenging morning. I'm sure we'll unpack a little bit of that. So we're going to talk about that today and just open it up and have a conversation and let you know we're in it with you. So welcome, Dr. Sebastian.
Thank you, Dr. Lona. Awesome to be here. Really, been trying to get on this podcast for such a long time, and then you reached out. I'm like, yes, let's do it.
Let's do it. Yeah. So, you know, we're going to be in Mexico City at an event coming up here in about a month. And one of the topics that Dr. Sebastian's going to talk on is this like limiting beliefs. And he's the guy that loves talking about mindset. So Sebastian, like, let's open it up today. Like, why do you love talking about that? And why do you like going into the limitations too?
I don't know. I'm just like really good at, like, when I hear your story, like, what's your problem? Oh, so this is my problem. Okay. And why do you think that is? And then zoom, they go into a story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't know. I have a good sense of just catching your limiting beliefs. As you're telling me the story, I'm like, all right, that's one. Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, that's another one. And then it's like the reason why you're stuck at the level you're at is because you think this and you think this and you believe this.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, but it's true. It's like, yeah, exactly. That's why you're stuck, because you
Right.
believe that it's true and it's not. Let me show you why. And then, you either help them go through an experience, so you tell them to do something, or I share my experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then through my experience, through your experience, that's where we can then take them on this journey and help them. And that's how we're able to coach them. But it's also because we've gone over those limiting beliefs and we've been down there, and it's just at a different level. We're all going through the same BS, the same problems, same issues, just at different levels.
Right. And don't you think so much of that, like your ability to speak into that is because you've met yourself in those beliefs, you know, where you're like, gosh, I needed to brush up against myself and brush up against myself and brush up against myself. And finally, it was painful enough for me to wake up to like what was at the root of it and make a shift in my mind.
100%. I think the first rule for that type of self-wisdom is not playing the victim card.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like self-responsibility.
Yeah.
It's like, listen, you don't like your personal reality right now. Well, you're 100% accountable, because it's your personal reality. It's your personality. You created that. You are that. So you need to change your personal reality. You need to change your personality. You need to change who you're showing up in life like. And it's so easy to say. It's so hard when everything in your environment supports your current personality that's creating that current reality that you're not happy with. So until you don't get really like, I'm done with this, and you have like this breakdown, like the universe corners you. So you break down. This is when the old self dies, and then you have to reinvent yourself, and new self comes. So I would love to know, I would love to share, times where this has happened in my life. I remember when I was stuck at 20K a month. And I got stuck because I was used to linear growth. So for 7 years, I was like, wow, 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 wow. And then I became, and I thought I was killing it. It was 2001, 2002, 2003. And, well, I thought I was killing it. I wasn't. But I was killing it and I was making money. And then I got stuck at 20K. And it was because I got comfortable. Literally, I was like, oh, wow, look at this. This is working like a machine. I don't have to do anything anymore. I just have to wake up, show up, and then that's it. And then that momentum that took, 7 years to build, that first month, the growth continued. So I'm like, wow, my reality is supporting this new behavior of I don't have to do anything. This is a machine. The second month it got flat. The third month started going down, and it took a whole year and a half
To go back up.
to go back up. So 7 years it took 3 months to destroy. 3 months, just like that, just like that. And then I was like, at the third month, I was like, what the heck? WTF? What's going on? I'm doing everything. I remember talking to my coach. I'm doing everything. Let me open the door for my dog. So I was doing everything. And every time in life I say I was doing everything and the needle is not moving, every time I do that, 100% of the time, I didn't know it back then, but now I know it was because I put God in the back seat of my life.
That's powerful.
And that was the first thing. God has to be at the front, not next to you, because it went from being in the front, always, what do you want me to do today? What's your purpose for me today? What do you want me to fulfill today? How do you want me to show up today? How can I be a better instrument today? These were the questions I was asking, and then everything is growing. Then I got comfortable. I made it about me. And then it was like, how come I'm not growing? How come I'm not earning more? How come I'm not where I want to be? It was about me, see?
So good, Sebastian. That's
quality,
so powerful.
The quality of your life is going to be a reflection of the quality of the questions you ask.
Right.
So
right.
I'm asking the
so
wrong
much
question.
of leadership, both for yourself internally and leadership in your team, is just asking better questions or maybe the right timing of questions. It's not so much that you have to have answers or all of it figured out, because you don't, but you do have to ask questions, right?
So
yeah, that's good.
It was like, okay, so I have to do something radical. I have to radically take action, because action will cure everything. And if you take the right action, even faster, you're gonna get back to where you were. So it took a Tony Robbins event a John DeMartini's breakthrough experience, and a mission trip to get my heart open again. I mean, that's how close I was. Because listen, now with 1/2 day of any of those events, I'm like, "Ah." Back then, it took all that for me to go like again from here to here. And it was, I went from 20K to 40K, like that, boom, like that. Immediately from 20K to 40K, and then I got stuck at 40K. But then it wasn't about that because I learned my lesson. So I put God, of course, every time, 100% of the times I get stuck in my life, that's me, is because I've made it about me and I've made it about myself and not about serving. I'm not about them being patients when I was the owner operator and doing everything in my practice, or them, my teams. So I just live for my teams. That's my job now, because now I have teams executing my mission, other people executing my mission in life. That's pretty effed up, because my mission is mine. So if I have to delegate, and then I'm like, oh, Jesus had 12 people helping him, so I'm not, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you think you're gonna do it alone, but you
Yes.
eventually pretty quickly recognize that it's not about you doing it alone, it's about you growing the people around you. So you end up not doing it alone, even though you feel alone so many times.
Yes. Sebastian, because you see into a lot of practices and you see probably a lot of stories that we say about why we didn't hit a growth marker or what's holding someone back. And I'm just curious if you think a lot of the time, I know you said for me, but when you see it, kind of like subluxations in people's practices in general and subluxations in their mindset, a lot of times I have to imagine it is when we think we're doing it alone. That's one of the biggest subluxations, or like you said, alone from God, like not doing it with our like God-given purpose at mind, and thinking that we have to have all the solutions, all the answers, and we're in it by ourselves. Right.
Yeah.
I see that with some of the team, like when I listen to team drama, if someone's telling me something that played out on a team, right? It's like a lot of times there's like this sense sometimes of like, let's just go back to the foundation. Like this is just about serving people. And we make up all these stories about like, oh, this person is this or this is this. And a lot of times if we could cut through it, it's like everybody's off purpose and we need to go back to like the leader's off purpose and the rest of the team therefore, and the leader wants to blame the team,
I
right?
have a story to demonstrate that just this past week, 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So my role in my offices is external marketing, specifically patient dinner. So I do a patient dinner, I have a patient dinner coordinator. Her KPI and her job is to put at least 40 butts in seats, 40 people in front of me. But in order to do that, well, we leverage digital marketing for that, but also the offices, they're accountable to bring in, invite patients, and patients must invite guests. So they earn the right to have a free dinner. So, they need to bring 10 with 10 guests. So that's 20 people already. So half the dinner is from the office.
Sure.
And then half the dinner is from digital.
Yep.
So we had our dinner at the end of January. We have one a quarter. So it's at 7 p.m. It's 6:40. It's 7:03. So the dinner starts at 7 p.m. It's 7:03, and usually by 6:45 there's like 15 people. It was 7:03 and there's 2 people.
Okay.
Okay. So so the hardest thing for me was not to give a talk to 6 people. Mind that you have 50, 40, 44 empty chairs.
Yeah.
Okay. So, my ego is hurt, right? but it's not about me. I've learned my lesson. I can't take that personal. Only one person shows up. That's more than enough. It's one. Look, I get goosebumps. That's one life. This is where I lost it. That I didn't feel that the patient coordinator actually gave a about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm like, you should, you should be right now that if I touch your pulse, it should be like I want to see you sweat right now, and all I see you is smiling. I don't like that attitude right now. I think you should be really, really like mad, and I don't see you that way. So the hardest thing I had to do was to go from feeling very angry, very like hardcore anger, to passionate, on a mission, enthusiastic, happy in 30 seconds. The 100% the hardest thing I had to do in my life was that. Because it was 7:05 and I had to start. And nobody can notice that. And I don't have a second chance with these 6 people.
Right.
Ended up doing the dinner, 10 people. I made 12 paid appointments. So it was like more than 100% closing rate. Fantastic. But at the same time the patient dinner was happening in the office, the doctor, the clinic director, had the heart health talk, the monthly workshop. I asked, how many people are in the workshop? They're supposed to have 30 people in front of them. You know, that's for established patients.
Yep.
5. I'm like,
you're getting mad again. Yeah.
so because the team, I'm getting the sense I'm getting is the team does not care. I feel I'm the one who only cares. So I'm like, I perform the dinner and I'm like, we have a meeting tomorrow. And of course, they're all blaming on me. Oh, you changed companies, you changed the strategy. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I own it. Fantastic. But what happened with the heart health? How come there's no 30 people? I want to hear it. And then you know how I am. They know how I am too. My team knows. And they really think before opening their mouth what they're going to say because they know. I'm like, tell me your story. Tell me your story.
Yes.
Right? So sure enough, it was my error that I did not clarify the vision of the talk for them. I didn't explain to them why that talk. So I went ahead and said, and then I said to them, so do you know that my dad is diabetic? And they're like, they didn't even know. Do you know that my dad not only is a diabetic, do you know that he's taking medication for sugar? And recently, he's not only diabetic and taking medication for sugar, he told me that his feet are starting to burn. So do you understand something that my dad does not listen to me anymore? And it's because I've already told, he always asks me, what should I do? And I tell him, and he doesn't do it. So I really got tired. I have no leverage with him, 0. Do you know who's my leverage? You guys. The life of my dad, I've delegated into your hands. And you know what these results tell me? What do you think these results tell you? You tell me. What does these results tell you? They already know where I'm going with this. And it's like, where in our core values these results are really being manifest? Are these results aligned or misaligned with our core values? And I know what you're going to say is misaligned. So I'm not going to even talk about that because you know that's what I want to hear. All I want to know is, does this define you? Does these results tell me who you are? Is this who you are, Doctor? Whatever. Is this who you are? Is this who you are? Because I want to know if I have the right team that's going to save my dad's life. I want to know if I have the right team. Do I have the right team? Yeah. Yeah? Okay. Well, we have a talk, the same talk, 2 weeks from now. And we're going to have another dinner 2 weeks from now. And here's the thing. If I don't see the team, if I don't see that I have a team that can put 30 people in a heart health and 40 people in a patient dinner, I'm recycling the whole team because my dad's life is more valuable than any of your lives right now. That's the truth. That's the truth. If I tell you that your life is more important than my dad's life, I will be lying to you. I want to know if I have the right team. So I got mad. I got mad. I had to speak those words. I wasn't like, excuse me, sorry to bother you. I'm sorry if I sound a little bit mad, but you know, I feel that we could have done a little better job. You know, what is that? What is that? Sometimes being adequate is it's inadequate. Sometimes trying to fit in is the most unfittable thing you can do.
Right. And having other people carry the vision instead of you never works out either, right? Like you painted the vision very clearly by telling them what was important, you know?
Oh, 100%. It was my fault. 100%. Vision and leadership was the first. It was me. It was me. So I showed up. I did what I had to do, and I said, you have 2 weeks, and you have 2 weeks. And last week we had 30 people in the heart health, 32, and 54 at the patient dinner.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not like this. Good job. Awesome. I'm like, this face. I'm like,
that's what's
okay,
expected. Yeah.
I have the right team.
That's good.
Congratulations. You get to keep your job. Congratulations. Now, here's the thing. When's the next one? In 2 weeks. And guess what?
Again.
It's the same 30 butts in seats for this talk. So how are you going to show up? 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 Do I have the right team to save my dad? And by the way, he needs to do the ASIVA, the 10 day, I don't know, whatever, some detox or sprint set. Actually, sprint set was. You have to do sprint. Dr. Ainoshka, you need to make my dad do sprint set. And he needs to pay for it too. So it's like, I'm not going to pay for it. It's not free. I'm not going to pay for it. He needs to pay.
Right.
So
let me ask you, Sebastian, like, because you have been a leader in your team's mind, but also in the profession for quite some time. Like, when did it become that clear to you that you could just unleash how you really like felt about the outcomes to your team like that? Like, have you always been wired that way, or when did you like decide like, enough, I need to just say it like I see it right now, and like imbibe the wisdom that I see to speak clearly into this?
Because I have made every single CA cry. I've done it wrong so many times. I've done it wrong many times, and then I started. I realized that when I hurt my back in 2014. I blew my back, and that's when I started becoming the CEO of my business. So I knew I needed to build teams, and I knew that immediately that what the most important skill set I needed to develop was to become a world-class team builder. I needed to become a world-class team builder. And one thing I love about TRP is that we really teach our clients how to become that. So that's pretty, I love that. That's nowhere. You're gonna have to take an HR, you're gonna have to go back to college and take HR classes if you want to know how to do this, or you just have to join us and we'll shortcut it for you and make sure that you implement. So we have the tools, we have the knowledge, we have the experience. So I just focus on that, and I've been reading this past, I don't know, maybe what's, wow, 2025, 9 years? No, 11 years? No, oh my God, I was gonna say 5 years.
Yeah,
Wow.
no, 10
So
years
this
at
past
least.
11 years for me has been just reading on just team building books, like The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, for example, Crucial Accountability, Crucial Conversations, The 6 Types of Working Genius. We just read that one this quarter. We're the team is so in tune with that book that they finish up reading it early, so we're implementing it now instead of next quarter. Never lose a customer again. Just been over and over, like all these books on team, and rereading books that I've read long time ago, the 4 Agreements, and just like things that help me communicate. How can I communicate better? I've hired speaking coaches. I've taken, we just got, with David Norrie, right? A course, a 6 weeks course where it's just about how can I communicate, and there's a place and time for being adequate and fitting, but there's sometimes that you need to match their energy. And inspiration and motivation are two very different things. So I'm not here to motivate my team. That's outside in. I don't have that energy. I'm here to inspire them, which is inside out. So yeah, it's been a journey of doing it wrong for so many years, and then coming to a place where it's like, wow, man, now it's so easy to say, it's like, listen, I love you, but I have to let you go. With so much clarity and peace, where before it was like, oh my God, she's gonna sue me. Oh my God, how can I do this? How can I say this? How, like, overthinking, versus now it's like, listen, I need you these 5 things. You haven't been able to do it. I love you, but I have to let you go. Can I share your how do you call that? Your resume with my colleagues? Yes, fantastic. And then I help them find a job. So it's just different. It's different. Still, I don't have it figured out. I don't. But with time you get better. So that took me from 40 to 80. Become a really good team builder, or a better team builder. I'm a better team builder. I don't know if I'm really
Sebastian,
good,
I want to
but
ask you this because I think what you just said there too is like, okay, you guys are reading books together. Like clearly you are trying to develop your team as leaders and develop them as communicators. Just like you're developing yourself, you're sharing that with them, which I think is a mindset that not everyone comes in realizing like your main goal is to grow others around you as you're growing. It's not just you growing, it's the whole team is on a journey to personally step into the better version of themselves. So I'd love to hear like how do you actually sit down and read together? Are you accountable? Like how do you make them inspired to read the books that you would like everyone to get on?
oh man, just by creating. So this comes with the 5 dysfunctions of a team. So it takes you to the 5 dysfunctions, and when you're seeing lack of results, you're not getting the results. The most fundamental dysfunction is lack of trust. And not trust that I don't trust you, Lona. I trust you as a human being. I just don't trust that I can be vulnerable with you and you're not gonna judge me for it. You know what I'm saying? You're my boss. I'm your employee. You're arriving late to team meetings. You're not showing up as the leader. You're not coming prepared to team trainings. You're winging it. and you're asking me to step up and do more. So lack of trust is, you know what? I'm not going to say anything to Dr. Lona. No, because I'm afraid she's going to fire me. Trust is like, hey, listen, just so you know, you're winging it. You're not being the leader I need you to be. And if I could, I will fire you, but I can't.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you're not going to use that. You're not, I know, I trust that you're not going to take it personal. I trust that you're going to take it as feedback
Mm-hmm.
and that I'm trying to help you. That's the trust you want to create in your team. I remember one year, the team didn't hit goals. Our team in one of the offices has not been able to hit goals in 3 years in a row. Okay. So yes, it happens. It happens. I wish I can tell you I am perfect and I have
I love you,
shit figured
Sebastian.
out, and every year I grow 10%. No, I haven't. And it's been amazing 3 years of a lot of growth and discovery and not only for me but for my team. So I remember one year that one of the doctors came to me and said, you know, we worked really hard this year. Can you give us money? And can you give us a bonus? And I'm like, so one part of me was like, heck no, you crazy? Dude, we made 120,000 less. I don't have money to give you. You didn't hit goals. You didn't accomplish what I paid a salary to accomplish. What are you doing? But wow, I feel very grateful that I have created enough trust so that you can come to me and ask for that and be bold with me. I just want to thank you for this. This is the best gift you can give me. So I cannot bonus you, but I will definitely can give you a gift for the hard work you all put in. And her vulnerability, her coming in, got everyone money in the team.
That's good.
I took it. See what I'm saying? I took it as, what is she trying? Like, wow, I've created so much safety in this team of being vulnerable to me. They can come to me, to their leader, and be vulnerable to me and trust I'm not going to bite them back or judge them or use that against them. I'm, you know what, grateful. I'm not going to bonus you. Consider this a gift. I can gift you, not bonus you. Do you understand the difference? Yes. Okay. It's a gift. So thank you. Thank you. Okay.
No, I think there's so much there, and we're going to do another episode. So whoever's listening, we are going to jump into more of this. In what you said there, you know, like I know from Stage in TRP, we've said like the healthy state of a business is growth, right? Just like the healthy state of a nervous system is health, right? Or of a body, or a person. But I also think to acknowledge that we aren't just all left brain or all right brain. That's why, like, when we look at the lay of the land in our businesses and our practices, our metrics tell a story, but there's also more to it. Like you just fleshed out there, of like, there's trust that needed to be built on this team. Like, who knows what else were the factors going on in that team. And as leader, you know, being able to like really get your hands in it to know, okay, I see KPIs not being hit, or I see metrics that aren't where they should be, and what else is happening in the lay of the land of this team. And sometimes there is those moments where it's like, yeah, we did not win together this quarter, and there is no bonus, and there is no something, you know, that's exciting for everyone right now. It's just hard work and you keep going. And other times it's like, man, we're so close. And I think if I just give a carrot or reward, or we do something that keeps the energy moving, we're right there and we're going to hit it very quickly thereafter. So I think it's an art form of knowing, like, sometimes how much you adhere to some of these things, and other times when you're going to just, like, you know, cut yourself off at the knees because your team just needs
to hear that they're doing well, even if they didn't make it to the next, KPI, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and and having doctors, stuck at I can't convert more than 50%, or I'm only converting 30%, or I had one doctor, it was converting 0%.
Mm.
But we can talk about that on next episode if you want.
Yes, that sounds good.
How
Hey,
to turn that around. I mean, it's bad if you're converting, 30%, but 0%.
right, right.
And how I got him unstuck is something that can benefit a lot of you that are listening, because it had nothing to do with how he was doing the day one or the day two, or
Mm.
empathetic connection and goals and showing them how to read. Had nothing to do with that. It had everything to do with this one thing, that if you don't heal that, you won't be able
Mm.
to unstuck yourself.
And I'm guessing because it's you, it has something to do with what was happening in his mind.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And I think it was on one of our TRP coaches calls, Bobby had said like almost everything is obviously coming from the leader's mind. And then also you as a persona, whatever role you are in the team, right? Like your mindset around your role on the team. So yes, we will unpack that next time. So Sebastian, thank you for sharing from your heart. I think we should do like 10 more episodes. This is so good. It's so good to also hear. I think when people give you specific examples of where they themselves were chewing through things that were really tough, banging your head against the wall, and then you break through, it's like, A, you realize you're not the only one. B, a lot of times you're like, oh my gosh, that's me too. And now I can just switch that. And it can be so simple. Like when we switch our mindset, so much of the actual, like I say 3D world stuff, like the action steps just fall into place. Like they become so much easier to take action on versus feeling like you're taking all this action, but it's not going anywhere. It's because like a lot of times it's happening in your mind that's where the tweak needs to happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, you have a beautiful afternoon and I'll see you
Thank
later.
you.
Oh,
All
wait,
right.
where do they find you on your social? Where's
Yeah, so TRP coach Dr. Sebastian on Instagram, TRP coach Dr. Sebastian. Also, my business or my practices Instagram is Dr. Sebastian Bonnin. So that also, but in terms for coaching and videos of Monday mindsets, which we do that every Monday, that's in that profile. Yeah, you can message me there, and I would love to hook up with you. Absolutely.
good? Thanks, Sebastian.
Yep.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Build Your Remarkable Practice podcast. Remember, what the world needs now is chiropractic, and what chiropractic needs now is more successful chiropractors. If you like the podcast, please subscribe, share with your friends, and leave us a review. And if you'd like to connect with us personally, please click the links in the show notes to schedule a call.